This video is to import from Adobe Audition CS6 or CC into WideOrbit. There is also a step-by-step PDF in the users folder in the cool pool if you'd just rather refer to that. Okay, I'm going to use a 30-second spot for New Balance as an example here. And the first thing you need to do is set your intro and EOM markers. So you do that by moving your current time indicator, this dude right here. Now you can either click and drag it like that, or easier, just hit the home key on your keyboard. Boom. Takes you all the way to the very beginning. Now to drop a marker, all you have to do is type M on your keyboard. M for marker gives you marker 1. WideOrbit's going to interpret that as your intro marker. Okay? Now we need an outro marker, or the EOM, which stands for end of message. And again, you can either drag it like that, or hit the end key on your keyboard. It takes you all the way to the very end. Again, to drop a marker, all you have to do is hit M for marker. You can see it popped up there. Now, put it at the very, very end because that's where we put the current time indicator. If we want to move this marker, we can just click and move it around. But if we want to get it right on that 30, easiest thing to do is to zoom in there. Lots of ways to zoom in and out. I'm going to right-click and hold until I get that hourglass, and I'm going to highlight the area I want to zoom into. So I want to zoom to the very end. So now I can grab that marker and put it right at 30, or I could put it right here at the very end of my WAV file. So now that my marker is set, I want to zoom all the way back out. Again, tons of ways to do this, lots of shortcut keys, lots of zooming options here, but I'm just going to click this guy, zoom out full, and that takes me back to the very beginning. So now we need to set our metadata. Now, most of the time this metadata window will already be open, but if it's not, and I'm just going to close it, and you can't find it, doesn't look like there's any metadata to be had, go to your window up here, this window, drop down, and look for metadata. It's right here. And you can see the shortcut key for metadata window is Control-P. I'm just going to click on that since I'm already there. So it pops this metadata window open, and the next thing you need to look for is the XMP tab. Mine's already selected, but if it's on something else, just make sure you click on the XMP tab. Make sure letters are highlighted. Mine's in blue. Yours could be yellow, pink, red, whatever. Also, make sure you look for these metadata fields. If they're not there, looks like this, or you might have a lot of other junk in here before you ever get to the WideOrbit. WideOrbit will probably be the very last thing on your screen here. If the fields aren't there, just click on that arrow and it'll drop them down. So in the title, this is for New Balance Tulsa, but at first I have to put the spot type, and I know this is voice over music. It's my voice, so voice over music's 3, my voice, so my initials, and then New Balance Tulsa. Artist is going to be the spot title. This one's called New Year, New You 2017 and -30. Out Q is going to be
at New Balance Tulsa in Utica Square.
In Utica Square. Start date is going to be January 16th, 2017. End date 1/31/17, and 2017 is the year we made this. Yay! Okay, so we have our metadata there. You notice there's no OK, no save button here. That's just, once we put it in there, that's what it is. So now we need to save this to a cart number. That's how we get it to the cart, into WideOrbit. So we go File, Save As. Again, shortcut key would be Control-Shift-S. File, Save As. It'll pop up this screen right here. So the file name, first thing we need to do, this is your cart number. So we begin with our category for commercials. It's COM for commercials. And remember, our cart ID is always going to be 4 digits. This one, even though it's 123, if we typed in 123 and we sent it through, WideOrbit will reject it. Won't even show up. So, since it's 4 digits, we start 0, 1, 2, 3. Location is going to be, we need to make it WideOrbit import, and that is going to be in the Z folder. And we scroll down to WideOrbit import. Make sure that this is a right WideOrbit format right in our WideOrbit import. Save. So we have our file name, COM0123. We're going to put it in the WideOrbit folder. Format's going to be WideOrbit format right. You can double check that just by making sure that's clicked. It's always going to be at the very, very bottom. Sample type needs to be 44.1, which it is, stereo, 16-bit. That's all correct. But if it is not correct, you just go over here to change, and you can change the sample rate. It's all drop down. So 44.1, stereo, bit 16. Okay. Now before you just jump down here and hit OK, look over here. This little box says include markers and other metadata. You did all that work. Make sure that it is included. If it is not checked, you should get this warning that it's not checked. Make sure it is. So after all this looks right, okay, you'll get this little pop-up that says saved using WideOrbit right, which is exactly what you want. So you have successfully saved that into WideOrbit, but it's always a good idea to double check it in WideOrbit just to make sure. That's all there is to it.